Hi, everyone, and welcome to week 7 of the Review Times Chalk Talk along with Andy Wolf. I'm Michael Burwell. And Andy, we're getting down to the wire here, and Fostoria is in pretty good position. Coming off a win over Elmwood, another wild kind of a finish. But nevertheless, a win is a win for the Redmen, who are 4-2 right now, and 2-1 in the NBC. They're tied for second right now in the NBC. Now, granted, the NBC, if you look up and down the teams, it's kind of down this year. But you got Eastwood number 1, obviously 6-0. Then you got Fostoria and Rossford, and a couple other teams are at 2-1. But the only teams above 500 overall are Fostoria and Rossford. And sure enough, those two teams play each other this week. How big of a contest is this for the Redmen? It's at home, which is big for them. But, I mean, if they want to playoff points, basically everything is on the line here for them. It's a big week for the Redmen.
I'd say it's definitely a big week because I'm pretty sure that since they've been in the NBC, Rossford, I believe, is one of those teams that they have not beat before. If they haven't, they've only beat them once in the past couple of years. Also, this team probably wants to finish in the league in the top half of the league standings. Eastwood definitely looks like the team to beat, and Fostoria has already lost to Eastwood, but I still think finishing the top 3, top 2 would be huge for the Redmen, who maybe need some help and some big wins they're really kind of on the outside of the playoffs. Finishing high in the league, this is a Rossford team that lost to Lake, and by transitive property, Fostoria beat Lake. So maybe you could end up favoring the Redmen here, but this Rossford team always has talent, and they're 4-2 for a reason.
Right, for sure. And, last year was one of the, rare years that Fostoria beat them. It was 36-34 in overtime. Last year, Rossford finished 2-8. They've already doubled their win total through 6 games. Last year, Fostoria is 4-6. They've already matched that win total through 6 games. So, it's been an impressive year so far for those two teams. So I think this is going to be a pretty good game. Fostoria is going to have to limit their mistakes, limit turnovers, just limit the mistakes, and who knows what could happen. They could possibly pick up a win there.
Yeah, Rossford's a very well coached team under Todd Drewsback, who I had the luxury of being one of my high school teachers, so I know him well, and he's had Rossford in the playoffs a couple times too. So maybe Rossford was down last year, but Rossford is the type of program that can turn it around this year and maybe end up running the table too.
Right, for sure. Another team coming off a pretty huge win, actually, last week is Arcadia. Arcadia beat Riverdale 38-35. Justin Stoner hit a 19-yard field goal with 6 seconds left to give them the 3-point win. I'll tell you what, in Riverdale, Division VI school, that's having a pretty decent year. They were 3-2 with a big win, or a couple big wins as well, and Arcadia picks up that win. Just for that program, how big of a win was that?
Might be the biggest one they've had under Ethan Purser too. A lot of their wins have come over like the Ridgemonts and the Vansloos, those kind of schools. I don't even think they've probably beaten the Division VI school. I think also just to hang with Riverdale too was one thing, but to get the win was pretty sweeter. And now I know they're 9th in the playoffs ranking right now. It's tough to really look at that because they still have Arlington this week, which would be another huge win because Arlington's proved that they're in the top half of the BBC year in and year out. It's going to be tough sledding for Arlington, who I think they ran for 450-some yards last week on the ground.
Right, and Arlington's a team. They're 4-2, and those 2 losses are to very good teams in Liberty Benton and Macomb in games in which they were actually leading and against Macomb dominating early on, but just kind of faltered late. So Arcadia's got a pretty big test. It's just all about stopping that run game for Arlington, and they can really pound it on the ground.
Yeah, numbers wise, I think they're kind of the same size, but Arlington's line, I've seen Arlington once this year, huge offensive line. They're kind of young too. There's only one senior on the line, but they're solid, they're sturdy, and they might have a size advantage on Arcadia. But even if Arcadia does lose this game, Arcadia should feel like with the win against Riverdale, 5-5 is very realistic for this team.
Without a doubt. There are a couple winnable games on the schedule the rest of the year, and who knows what could happen. 5-5 would be absolutely outstanding for Arcadia. So other games to look for this week. Van Buren gets Lipsick.
Tough test.
That'll be tough. Lipsick is definitely one of the top
6-0, and
They're pretty good. Van Loo's at Pandora Gilboa, which PG is probably the best 2-4 team in the entire area.
Yeah, I would say
they've
so,
had some
if not
tough
the
losses.
region, yeah.
Right, and so Elmwood is at Otsego. Fremont St. Joseph is at Hopewell Loudon, which Hopewell is coming off a win Saturday night against Pymatuning Valley. I think I said that right.
Good enough for me.
And Lakota is at Margaretta. So be sure to check out the review times and the paper and reviewtimes.com Saturday morning for the results.